All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back coming to you live with Good Morning Azeroth number 31. Hopefully, the stream's off to a good start. No scuffage yet. Joined by the lads yet again, Defcamp, Dunedain, and a special guest, Taladrill, the oh so knowledgeable Taladrill. How's everyone doing today?
Doing
Good.
great, brother.
Very good.
Doing great.
That is
How are you?
Hallelujah.
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. No scuffage, the stream says. That is, you'll
Oh,
love to see
right.
it. I am
That's a
progressing.
first, man.
Uh-huh. 31 episodes. This might be the first one where there's no scuffage in the first minute or so.
31 episodes.
31, man.
That is crazy. That is crazy.
Absolutely. All right, so welcome back to the stream, guys. Hope everybody's doing good, having fun playing Classic. Lots of stuff to talk about today. We're coming up with a list right before the show started of talking points, and man, there's some juicy stuff. So pretty much we'll be talking about. We'll do a little catch up. We'll see how you guys are doing out there in the world. We'll do a little catch up amongst ourselves. We'll be talking about Dire Maul, the Dire Maul meta. BlizzCon's coming up, right? That's pretty juicy. A lot on the line there, right? We'll see how that goes. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the state of the game moving forward, phase 2 before the year ends, all this type of stuff. So welcome, a million welcomes. Big shout out to everybody watching right now. We're just still filling up. All right.
You ready for the call? We're gonna do the morning call. Good.
As per our tradition, Defcamp needs to bless us all with a loud and thunderous greetings, worthy of Good Morning Azeroth 31. Defcamp, if you would be so
right.
kind.
Sound warning, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Taladrill. I don't know if you're used to this. You might want to put down your headset a little bit. All right, everybody. Let's do it. Good morning, Azeroth. Let's go, everybody. 2 weeks out to BlizzCon. Dire Maul's out. Let's pump it, baby. Let's have some fun today.
Let's pump it, man. Indeed. How you guys doing? That was great, Defcamp. Thank you very much, man. That was great.
Doing great, actually.
Yeah.
Been playing a lot today in the last few days. I'm finally getting close to 60, so Perfect Moon's
55?
probably getting hyped a bit. Today I've been running a few dungeons, BRD, especially yesterday too. Been tanking a bit as Paladin, been healing too, depending on what is most needed. But actually, I'm surprised how good the Paladin is with a few protection talents. It's quite easy to keep aggro and AoE groups, so yeah, nice.
Absolutely.
I gotta say,
Consecration with Righteous Fury is insane. What's that difference?
Yeah. No, I've been, you guys have always, I really, like, listen, I like Paladin, like, I love Holy, and Protection seems very fun to me as well, and I love Prot Paladin, especially in BC, but, you guys got me thinking, and Melderon and I have decided that we're gonna, start Super Play Brothers up soon, and I think we'll go over on Dunedain server, and I'll make myself
Nice.
Paladin. But yeah, we'll see. I know, and a little off the record, Melderon was talking yesterday as well as about, I think I'd really like to play Paladin as well. So as much as he talks about
Melderon of all people, dude. Melderon of all
out,
people.
baby. I'm calling him out.
The biggest Paladin hater I know is thinking about
Yep.
playing Paladin.
Wow.
Exposed.
Yep, so
I want to see you guys actually play Alliance. That would be entertaining.
we did back in the day on
Super Play
on,
Brothers, yeah.
Yeah, and I had a 60 rogue on, what was it, Lights Hope, back before Northdale.
True.
Yeah.
That's where I met you, actually.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Super Play Brothers, that was the first content I ever watched of you and your brother, man.
Same.
Nice,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, I'm
It's
ready
so
for it,
good.
man. I love doing that show.
Episode,
It was so much
it was the
fun.
Stockades episode. I was like, damn, these guys
the
these guys are a
Stockade
riot.
one, dude. Yeah.
Over a
Yeah,
year
we
ago,
love,
man.
we love doing that, man, and I'm ready to bring that back. But I gotta say, man, I've been having a lot of fun in Dire Maul. I love Dire Maul, right? And I've always talked about this, like Dire Maul. I spend so much time in there, whether it's lasher farming, whether it's jump runs, whether it's tribute runs. I love DM. DM
Yeah,
West
I
is
would
probably
say
my
that
least
too.
favorite, but
Really? See, I was gonna say, like, I was in DM West, and I'm like, man, I remember, I just love this dungeon. It's so long, but something
Yeah.
about this one is my favorite. Like, it's one of my all-time favorite dungeons is DM West. It's a great one.
Well, we want to talk about some tips and tricks and things that you should know, like while doing DM. One thing that's really nice is in DM West, being with a Warlock Kargoz, as you know, you use that greater invisibility detect, and you can detect all those undead paths that are all over the place. So that's really nice to have. But
Defcamp's got the strats, dude, for DM, dude. I was trying to give him some tips
DM.
yesterday, and he knew everything already. I was like, oh, okay.
I spent so much time in there, man. But like DM West, I think the reason why I just like it the most, but I love the end part, right? Especially when you're going to that room, and you have to clear the pylons with the elementals and stuff. Like I love all that. But I think just the undead phase and all that stuff is just kind of a pain. But I love DM East, I love DM North, and DM West is still a good dungeon. It's just my least favorite out of the three.
Yeah.
It requires the most class need, I think,
Yeah,
because
that's
if you don't
true.
have a way to deal with the undead, it can be
Shackle,
really
yep.
nasty. Yeah, shackle or exorcism or something, just anything to get the undead section easier.
Yeah.
So, quick posture check to everybody out in the chat right now. What level are you guys? If you're 60, say 60, and then your highest level alt. I'm curious. Taladrill recently hit 60, right, Taladrill? And you said you did your first Molten Core yesterday. Dunedain's about to be there too, so...
I'm
First
45.
last night, that was cool.
Nice.
Yeah, 60 a week and a half ago, finally.
54, obviously, not 45.
54. Yeah.
I was about to say, yo, he went backwards, dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
45 doing fucking BRD. It's pretty awesome.
It's easy. It's Paladin. No joke, by the way. We did it today with the 48 warrior.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It worked. Half.
Was he tanking?
No, it was just standing
okay,
there, basically.
Just
Gaining,
standing there,
yeah, gaining experience.
All
Oh,
right.
wow, so we got a lot of some. So yeah, I gotta work on my alt, man. And so one thing I want to talk about before we get started is like I am at such a loss right now what I want to play next, because I really wanted to do shaman next, right? And I may still, right? I do have a shaman alt already. He's like level 10, but I have been just hankering. Like I've been wanting to. Okay, maybe you guys can attest to this, Dunedain, Taladrill. Like when you heal for so long, and all you do is heal, and I love healing. I do. I absolutely love healing. I still feel the need sometimes to just do some damage, right?
Oh yeah.
And Shadow's nice and all, but I want to do melee damage, right? I really do. I want to do some melee damage, and enhancement's great for that. But lately I've been really having hankering to play rogue, and I'm this close to just saying fuck it and start leveling a rogue, dude. And I think I might do it. I don't know. I'm still debating.
Totally understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I've been healing for roughly 14 years. With basically I think 12 years and 2 years of something else. But whenever I play a DPS for more than 2-3 months, I get bored.
Yeah.
And I want to start healing again. But I got to say, man, a paladin is really since I'm tanking and healing now, it's really something. It's super good. It keeps me motivated to do dungeons in either role, and it's still fresh every time again. So yeah. And in the meantime, I'm also trying to get some red tree gear. I know the DPS is kind of shit, but still, it's quite nice to have in PvP and stuff.
For me, I like to do, if I'm not wanting to heal, tanking. Like, tanking is great because you can get the group so quick, and I don't know, like, DPS is almost a little bit too boring for me. Like, I don't feel like I can engage with DPS. I need to be doing something more than that. So, healing's great because there's a lot of just, mental uptime, but tanking is good because you can sort of switch gears and have an entirely different role and still be in charge and be doing stuff.
You guys are so lucky. You play druid and paladin, you can do both. Like even with paladin, and even shaman, right? Even shaman can do. They can play their hand at tanking. They really can on certain dungeons, right? At level 60, they can melee DPS, they can caster DPS, and they can heal.
What was I saying the other day? I was like, instead of a hybrid tack, sometimes I sort of think of it as a hybrid bonus. I love the way hybrids perform in vanilla, and some people may, think I'm an idiot for that, but gold farming, quality of life, PvP, these are real concerns, right? So like being able to do, multiple things and be successful in multiple facets of the game as one spec is really valuable.
Yeah, it's surprisingly good actually. I've been thinking of a paladin build to be both good as a tank and as a healer and in PvP, right now I have 30 holy, 21 protection, but I think I can actually get away with 20 holy and still rate heals. Heal rates.
Right.
And I think I get reckoning then, so it's also good to DPS in PvP. So it's kind of
definitely.
all in one. And the only thing I miss then is the 5% crit and the instant crit in holy.
Can you proc Reckoning in duels? Can you sit proc it?
I don't know.
Someone out in the chat will know, man. I wonder.
I thought you can't sit procking anymore.
On mobs, yeah. If you sit proc on a mob, right? Like I'm wondering in
right.
PvP though. I mean, you do get crit, right? If you're sitting down every time. It's just a matter whether or not
but it
procs
doesn't proc it, I don't think.
the reckoning.
Yeah.
So even if you
Isn't
didn't
there a
sit
trick?
proc it, you could just get crit in a duel and stack up
Right.
reckoning that way, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you could.
definitely,
Okay. So that's pretty solid. So one thing I want to chime in here. Most of the time when I try to do something, it ends up not working out like I originally wanted it to, right? And oftentimes, a lot of us maybe be in that same boat. You have a plan. The plan doesn't always go accordingly, and you kind of wish you did the stuff differently. And on past private servers, I had leveled alts on the same account, even when the account was freaking free for some reason. And I'd been like, damn, dude, I should have just leveled this alt on another account. I'm so dumb. And, all of the kind of pieces came together with Classic this time around. I made a separate account. I leveled up a mage almost immediately after getting my Warlock to 60. I got a few, pieces of Previous and all this, and I started to think about that working hard versus working smart equation. Quickly leveled up a mage while the spell cleave groups were still hot. And, man, was that a huge win, dude. I would not have done it any differently, dude. It is such a enhancement to quality of life, to farming, just the with the new water out, especially right now.
55 water
It
already?
is absurd, dude. With the new water,
it's
having
so
a
nice,
mage
man.
alt. My point is, I'm not trying to flex here. I'm just saying, having a mage alt is so high impact, and would definitely encourage people
Yo,
to.
can you hook me up with like 6 stacks in like an hour, bro?
Absolutely, bro. Anytime.
No, I hear you on that.
And now that
dude.
DM is here, and you're able to get all this sick gear on the alt too, and kind of catch it up too, man. Like I don't know, it feels good, man. That's
That
one
is
thing
nice.
that I wouldn't have done it any differently. I would have gone Warlock Mage second. I don't regret that at all. Maybe going Mage first. But then here's the thing: if you go Mage first, yeah, you might be able to power level your Warlock up faster, but you're gonna miss that week 2 rag kill. Remember, like you're gonna miss that, and you're not gonna be able to. I don't know, man. I just.
I think you did it pretty smart. I mean, that was a lot of dedication on your part, but it was really smart. But going back to what you were saying about the hybrid,
Hybrid bonus,
right?
Yeah.
So Melderon, like I was getting pissed, dude, because literally that dude can do anything in that fucking 30-21 spec, the Nature Swiftness spec, literally anything. Okay, he was PvPing. He could pull 800 plus damage DPS in dungeons on AoE packs, sometimes 1,000 DPS on AoE packs, right? Blowing people up in PvP, farming like a madman, doing he was raid healing in that spec, and on a lot of fights he was second or first, especially where shamans get a lot of from their chain heal. So in that spec he's doing everything. He's like, dude, I'm gonna make a video about how shamans can do everything in one spec. Here comes DM, right? Lashers 100% nature immune. I'm like, fuck, at least there's something they can do, dude. You know what I mean? So but he was kind of pissed about that. But the Lashers are 100% nature immune.
Yep.
Not even resisted, just immune.
Ouch.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So,
Yep,
and
so-
that's one thing. So, I also to tie back to your reckoning point, that's where my goldfish mind started spinning off. But if you had an alt, doing like a mage alt, you could just have him on follow, kind of just around you, helping you out, being a support, extra bag space. But you could just use him to get reckoning stacks on yourself, and then just be such a freaking threat, dude. If you're able to reliably get reckoning stacks. So yeah, you can't sit proc it like back on private servers and stack it up and just be like an absolute weapon of mass destruction rolling around on your mount. But if you have a little alt that you can control and sit there and be a little patient and stack it up, they still don't go away, right? The reckoning stacks will persist even through flight paths and through all this. The reckoning will just stay on you. You can mount up, you can dismount and drop combat. Doesn't matter. They won't go away, right? And you can just keep those primed for a PvP altercation. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud here, but
Yeah,
that'd be sweet.
I guess so. But you need 2 accounts for that, obviously.
Yeah.
Which I don't have. But reckoning is it's such an amazing talent. I don't know, man. I still need to test a lot of those things, but I will probably not have a second account it does that specific thing you just talked about.
Yeah,
But sounds reasonable. Sounds good.
no doubt, no doubt. How'd the Molten Core go yesterday, though, Taladro?
It went pretty well. It was smoothish, you know, for the first run. We actually had to have 2 guilds stuck together to make it happen. But yeah, it was good. We got to Gar. We killed him. So, woo.
Nice, man.
Nice.
I didn't get any loot. It's just a bunch of junk, but it's all good.
Yeah.
See what happens next time.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things where I've only gotten one piece so far, and it's the tier 2 helm. And you know, being in a DKP guild, especially with a lot of priests, you got to hold out sometimes. But we're getting to the point now where we did MC up to Domo last night, and then we did Ani. But I think we'll be at the point soon where we can do MC and Ani all in one night soon.
Yeah,
so.
that is
It'll
definitely
come
the play.
fast enough. Yeah.
How do you like DKP over Loot Council right now?
So here's the thing, right? I feel like in a casual guild, especially or a casual raid, I think it's more fair, right? Because everyone gets to, you know, everyone is basically. I mean, yeah, the main tank obviously is going to get geared quicker, right? Because all the tank gear goes to the main tank, right? So they're, you know, negative DKP, whatever, it's fine. We actually got a binding last night, by the way. Binding last night.
Nice.
Yes, we got one. Yeah, but so here's the thing, right? So I initially wanted to like save all my DKP up for Benediction, right? But we ended up getting like 2 or 3 leafs in a row, so no eye yet. So I spent my DKP on the tier 2 helm, and now I'm like way down below, and now I have to wait a while to get my Benediction. So like, I know for a fact, like if I was in a loot council raid, it would probably be a little bit different, you know. But I really feel like it's more fair, especially when you're dealing with 40 people. In vanilla, I don't know. I like DKP in vanilla. I've had both. I've had DKP. I've had loot council. I've had bad loot council. I've had great loot council. But I feel like in that vanilla-esque feel, I feel like DKP is great.
Yeah.
There's something fun about DKP, right?
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it. We don't use it yet. I didn't trade with the guild yet, but the guild is trading for more than a month now. And I think yesterday they cleared Molten Core in 2 hours.
Nice. Very good,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Very solid.
But we've probably the best geared tank.
Oh
So
yeah.
I don't know if you have a
is,
picture of him at Cargoz.
I'm not sure, man. No, I don't think so. He sent me something,
I had
but
it
it'd
up.
be hard to pull
He's
it
basically got like he just got Qual Sorar. He's got like basically all epics, and
Basically,
yeah.
tier 2, both tier 2 pieces,
Right.
and tier 1 5 pieces, and then the Savage, what's it called?
Gladiator Chain, which is
exactly.
I know some warriors who have done like 300 arena runs and still haven't gotten it, dude.
Ouch.
Yeah.
So yeah, 1 hour 51 minutes it was.
Solid
That's
time,
really
yeah.
good.
It's really good.
Really good. Yeah.
That's really good. The fellowship making strides, man. Making strides.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Wait till
I
I join.
So you know, Taladro getting up to Gar and not getting anything. It feels a little bit better when you have DKP, right? Because you're at least earning something. You feel like you've accomplished something, even if you didn't get anything.
I mean, I
so.
think DKP's fun. You have a lot more engagement on an individual level. That's what I think is great, because you get to actually choose, you know, where you spend your points, how you spend your points. You know,
Yep.
Loot Council is so uninteresting. It's just like, well, who gets it? And then it's like, ooh, they got it.
I think
Okay,
it causes more
moving on,
friction
you know?
too, man, with the loot council. Because
Yeah.
it's performance based, which is good. People try harder, but at the same time, it also just makes it about the X's and O's a little bit more, and people are a little bit more savage with each other and stuff. And as someone, you know, if you try really hard, you really feel. Sometimes you feel like, man, I should be compensated more. But at the same time, you think about, the peace is being kept right now. We have 40 personalities, all button heads right now. You know, the DKP is kind of keeping everybody in check. It's transparency. Like people feel like they can control a little bit their loot. So I don't know. So far, Defcamp, I don't know what you think, man, but I think it's been working out pretty good. Zero-sum DKP system.
I love it. You know, I mean, like, here's the thing. You know, some classes have it way better off, right? Like druids. Vomp, shouts out to Vomp, literally was like the only resto druid in our raid like the last 3 nights. Like he has every piece of gear that he needs, like up tier, right? So yeah, some classes are really luckier than others. And then like, you know, last night the Mageblade dropped as well, and like someone was holding their DKP out for Mageblade, you know, all week, and he got it. You know, I mean, all, you know, since we've been running, and he got it. So I love the RP element of it too, like where you feel like you're kind of, putting points into things, and you get to pick where it goes, and I like that. I do. I feel like it's more fair for a bigger guild.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's been going good, man. It's been going good.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
I mean, well, let's bring up what the negatives. Like, have you guys had stuff get disenchanted because
Yes.
people?
Yes.
Yes, 100%.
How
But
much
you have to
stuff?
take that out. A lot of stuff, 30% of stuff. Like
wow.
I got bread. Like a lot of stuff gets trashed, but that's
A lot
okay
of the,
because there's decay. So the decay is a very important piece of this puzzle, right? And and Navic and Egregious set the decay at a rate that it's got people sweating, dude. It's got the mages sweating. They're like, yo, nothing's dropping though, and I'm getting all this decay. I'm losing like 5 DKP, dude. Like nothing's dropping for us. And it's also getting people to, want to try and spend DKP and not just save up for Mage Blade or whatever, or save up for the really high impact stuff.
Early on is the worst for DKP. It's that first drops. I want the first, that people will hold out for it. But the DK does help for that. And the thing too that I think people try to, they get mad about epics decaying, but it's like, honestly, most epics aren't that great. Like, okay, great, the Druid has 8 of 8 Cenarian. Who gives a crap? Most of that stuff is just sort of like just to have the set, not really because you actually want it,
Yes.
Right.
So it's not that big of a deal. People wait for the best in slot because it literally is the only real good option. So
and the thing is, man, we're all gonna get everyone who's raiding right now. You're gonna have every single PC you're gonna want before Phase 2 comes out. I mean,
Phase 2's coming soon though. Phase 2's coming soon.
think?
Phase 2's coming soon.
think?
Well, I mean,
Phase 2's
Phase 2 isn't. It's not Blackwing Lair anyway, so who cares if it's
Exactly.
before Phase
Yeah.
2?
Well,
Phase
You'll
PvP
have
though.
it before Phase 3,
So,
probably.
My strat has just been to buy everything. I've been buying PvP gear, and even if it's not usable in raid so much, I'll still use the blues because I really care about Phase 2. And I'll say I've been spending DKP every week when I can. Right, I bought the BOEs for a premium. I spent 500 on Felheart bracers just trying to pick them up because we had a bidding war. But right now, I'm 7 of 8 tier 1, bro. I'm 1 away from the 8-piece bonus, 15% reduction. And at that point, I was going to ask you at some point, Tyler, I was going to ask you, bro, even though it doesn't have as much spell power, with 15% reduction to the cost, does it become, the best? I mean, that's a large percentage savings, right?
Yeah, that's pretty nice, yeah.
Yeah. So
you'd have to weigh it, but yeah, if it's only a little bit lower for the spell amount, I mean, it could very well be worth it.
Yeah. So
here's I want to ask you something, Kargoz, because so Felheart is obviously it's really bad for PvE, really good for PvP, right?
Mhm.
So a lot of our warlocks have just been, no one's getting it, right? And it's being disenchanted, but like you just said,
I think it's a misplay, dog.
yeah, I do too, because in Phase 2, dude, you're gonna be, you're gonna have 6k stam.
That's
An
dude,
unbuff,
bro. Dude, this is the thing, bro.
It's ridiculous.
I wear my
dude.
raid set Defcamp for 3 hours a week, dude.
Yeah.
Outside of raid, I'm throwing on the stem. You kidding me? Forget about it. If I'm out farming in Princess, dude, if I'm farming Princess right now, so my goal from right now, we'll talk about this later, is I'm on the mage, I'm doing Lasher runs, right? And I'm also doing Princess runs at the same time on my Warlock, just whenever there's downtime, I'll bounce this one. So it's about 100 gold an hour in total. But it's so here's the thing though. I have enough stam now in this Felheart Defcamp that when she catches me and wabaps me, it deals half my health. I'm fine. Even in SMR, it doesn't even matter. You don't die anymore. It's not scuffed anymore. And many problems in this game can be solved by stacking stam. That's what I'll say to you right now. Stacking stam will help you fix big posture. And people say, oh man, I have such an easy time killing warlocks. I talk to hunters, talk to other classes. A lot of these warlocks just fall over. It's because some of these warlocks are out there. They don't pick the quality of life talents with their flex points,
right,
and they go out there with all this plus shadow damage gear, and they just flop over to an aim shot, dude.
Yes.
No, dude.
Absolutely,
damage.
man.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Absolutely.
I say take
I've had
the
that
Felheart,
problem
bro.
with my priest. I went spell down because I'm doing the duel tournament. I tried to sacrifice. Here's the thing: in the duel tournament, I very much weighed stam just as important as spell power, if not more, right? So I made sure that I had at least 3.5k unbuffed in that PvP set for me as a Shadow Priest, which was actually pretty hard to do having no raid gear, right? I had no raid, all blues. So, you got to look at it like this, man. Yeah, if you're gonna, even as a holy priest, man, you're gonna get targeted first, dude. People are gonna target you. You have got to have enough stam to stay alive. Fuck how much plus healing you have. Have a little bit of plus healing. It's nice to be able to heal people and this and another, but you can't do shit if you're dead, right?
That's for
so
sure.
you got to stay alive.
Or if you're out of mana too, you need a certain baseline level of mana and a baseline level of health.
Exactly.
So,
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think Kargoz, how you're gearing yourself is entirely smart. Like, I think people, they try to fixate on that one big upgrade they think is really great, but those people that are just like, hey, it's an upgrade, or it's a piece of gear I don't have, and they just grab it, especially with DKP system, like, you're gonna be miles ahead of somebody. And then when you finally decide, you know what, I'm gonna save up for that big weapon, everybody else is way behind you in gear, and you're doing great.
And I'm not like a melee, so like getting a Viscag on a rogue, getting a Brutality Blade, getting a Spinal, whatever that shit is called, like that's big for a melee. For me, dude, how much is Mage Blade really gonna help me? Like, it's good, but I don't know, man. Like,
it's big for a melee, but imagine if that melee, like you said, you're 7 of 8. What if that other rogue was 7 of 8 for whatever else they wanted, rather than one Viscag?
Well, here's the thing: you don't get decay when you're in the negative too, Taladrill. So if you stay right around 0 DKP and it's 0 sum, like I've experienced like no decay, bro. I just get enough to get 1 piece per 1 piece per week, and it's been working out, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's way better for people to just, I mean, I don't know why people save up, because with DP system you can be buying all the time and get great deals, and that's the fun part, is you treat it like an economy kind of thing. Like, find stuff on sale, and when nobody else is bidding, that's on sale. So that's great.
You're so right, dude, because like I'm thinking about Benediction, right? And like it's like you have a 50% drop to get it, like, you know what I mean? And like, even though we had 3 leases in a row, dude, the coin's gonna beat tails eventually, you know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
So for me, like, instead of letting fucking, the shoulders and the even like the tier 1 like pants and shit like that, like, just to have them over, just for that stam and shit for PvP, it's so nice. And I love the way tier 1 looks as well for Priest. So like, I'm gonna go and get that full set. I've been trying to get the bracers on the auction house, have not seen them once. They're so good, right? It's like 24 bonus healing, 2 MP5, bunch of stam, bunch of int, bunch of spirit, worth a lot of gold. Haven't seen them up there yet.
Here's the thing: you're gonna 80% of your time you're gonna be out there PvPing and farming, probably farming. So invest in the gear that's gonna help you in that aspect of the game. And when you come to raiding, okay, unless you're at the very, very tippy top echelon of parsers that are parsing 98s and 100s, buffs are gonna do more for you, bro. Consumables and buffs. Go buy a great arcane elixir. Go get a flask. Don't even worry about what you got on. Get some shitty blues. Get a flask. Get your songflower. Get your Dire Maul buff. Get your Oni head. That stuff is gonna do more for you. And a lot of people in your raid are gonna be missing those because they were sleeping 100%. On it, right? So
100%.
Go do that, and I don't know.
Just out of interest, do you use a steady amount of DK, or is it percentage? And do you use an add-on to manage?
It's a percentage. Yeah, they adjust it based on like how DKP is looking pretty much. I think right now, what is it, 15% or 20% decay? It's pretty aggressive right now. They're trying to get people to spend and stop hoarding, but at the same time, no mage gear is dropping. So we have a bunch of mages hoarding DKP. No mage gear is dropping. That's kind of the bad side of DKP. That if stuff isn't dropping to even spend it on, then what do you do? But
And do you use an add-on to manage it?
It's just a fancy Google Doc.
Yeah, fancy Google Doc.
It's and it'll be like all the prices are listed. And here's the thing, right? When something drops, then the DKP for it is less next time, right? So you're not spending as much as someone is for the first time who bought it. So if Mage Blade drops once, someone's going to spend a bunch of DKP for it. Next time it won't be as expensive.
Here's a question for you too, Taladrill.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
Talisman of Ephemeral Power. Okay, you familiar with this trinket? I know you don't play caster, but so
great.
Most of the mages and even warlocks, myself included, I was kind of fixated on Mage Blade and some of these high impact items. Like, I didn't end up hoarding for it or anything like that, but that's like one of the juiciest things in my mind. On these short fights, when people are popping sapper charges and trying to really be a big pumper, what item is going to have more high impact? Let's say in a sub 1 minute fight, a Mage Blade or a Talisman?
I mean, Toe-Up is friggin' huge, so I would go for that every single time. That's nutso level.
It's another flask, dude. It's another flask.
Basically,
and Toe-Up drops from multiple bosses, right? Like, we had 3 drop in one of our runs, so I made a misplay. I could have grabbed it, dude, but I didn't grab it because I was trying to get the Fellheart bonus. I could have grabbed it. It was a big misplay. Don't do what I did. Get the Toe-Up, man.
That's the thing, it's like, that's the thing people also sort of fixate on too. It's like, how long does Mage Blade last? Like, when do you replace it? I mean, there's upgrades in BWO, right? So like,
I thought it was...
I mean, Toe-Up, you could have Toe-Up for a very long time. Because if you're gonna have a sub-minute run or something like that for whatever boss, you throw that on, as long as its cooldown is up, then it's like you switch it out with some other trinket for
And then the
something else.
ZG1
Like,
comes out, right? So you have Toab.
exactly. So you have
Yeah,
two of
yeah,
them. So
yeah.
like you don't get rid of that kind of stuff. Like
Yeah,
that lasts
no.
you a long time for gear. So
Yeah.
it's really worth.
Yeah, you should get toe up is solid. I gotta get that, man. I gotta get that.
It's badass, dude. Like I think defunct Kargoz had it in the duel tournament.
Yeah.
Or one of the Warlocks had it,
Oh,
and he
yeah,
popped
for
that
duel
shit, dude.
tournament?
And I was like, fuck. I was like,
When you see that pop, dude, you're like, oh well, I'm playing from behind, buddy. This guy's got a
Yeah.
flask on right now. Oh
Yeah.
man.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's a minute 30-second cooldown. You can pop that thing all the time.
I know,
Yeah,
man.
man.
It's so good,
Do
dude.
you have dual tournaments on all the US servers? I don't think it's a thing in the EU. I didn't see it yet.
Really, you haven't seen any?
I know
over there yet?
Fairlena's got some. They got a
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
active PvP crowd over there. And Scarum, we're getting started with ours. We've done a couple weeks of them. We have some more
Yeah.
this week. We have one tomorrow, Friday, for those of you playing on Scarum.
Right.
And on Saturday is our first
Nice.
cross-faction one on Saturday.
Dude, I
Close
haven't
to-
done
Oh,
any
nice.
engineering
Yeah.
shit yet. Fuck.
Absolutely. So,
Cross faction, that's gotta be interesting.
Yeah, yeah, it will.
You stream it, Kargoz.
yes, I stream it. Yep. I stream
That's
it.
cool.
All right, let's transition into Dire Maul stuff.
do
We
it.
don't have a ton of time. So, all right, Dire Maul is out. The meta has shifted. Let me throw it out there, and this is a question to the chat too. In what ways has the meta of the game shifted with the release of Dire Maul?
Yeah.
Everybody's in for Alice.
Yeah, now for me, it actually has a big impact since I'm just I hit like level 50 when Dire Maul launched, and normally you would say, okay, that's not important for you, but actually when I try to find a group for all the other dungeons, it's quite hard to
Yes.
find one now. Like
Yeah.
before, it would
I'm
be
hearing that a
super
lot.
easy. So
LVRS
that's
is gonna
the main
get
thing
big
for
drop
me.
off because nobody
Oh,
cares
yeah.
about LVRS anymore.
Yeah,
Minus the gems
that's-
or whatever, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, for the key.
Can you level the rest of? Can you
LVRS.
solo the lashers? I'm sure you can. They're pretty weak, bro. As a
What,
paladin.
in
Just-
Indiana-
Oh yeah,
That's-
it's definitely possible. But I heard from my guild members that the amount of gold from the lashers is really low right now. So,
well,
I don't know if you experienced the same.
it's less than private servers for sure. So what Ale, remember what Ale said the other day, Defcamp? Okay, let me try and reiterate. So
Yeah.
different private servers had different values on it, right? So people that played, I think what he said on Chronos were disappointed. I think Chronos or something had like really high drops from these, and then people that played, or it might have been reversed. Either way, different private servers had different values from these lashers.
Yeah.
That you know better, Defcamp, right? So some people were disappointed, and some people were like,
Well, I
expecting
think
this.
everyone was honestly a little disappointed. So even Northdale had a nerfed version of it, but the issue is the thing that I'm seeing is right that first of all the lasher packs are bigger, right? So the drop rate's definitely much less per lasher. There's actually even more lasher packs than there were, but I honestly do feel that compared to Northdale, and this is just my own experience, maybe I was lucky, it wasn't like so bad that I would say, oh, I'm not doing, like I'm still making a decent amount of gold from this, especially if you're an herbalist, and you know, even though the herb prices are dropping, Dreamfoil, Grom's Blood, and you know, Ghost Mushrooms are still decent, you know, herbs to sell in the auction house.
absolutely.
So if you're an herbalist and you're doing lasher runs like myself right now, you're still going to make decent money.
My thing is,
and
would
you
you
always
do it
have the chance
without
to get a book,
herbalism,
too.
though? Would you do it without herbalism? I think it's scuffed without herbalism. But what do
I
you-
would probably rather do princess runs, honestly.
Yeah, you need herbalism for it, man. But with that said,
Yeah.
there's a ton of nodes in there, and there's a couple reset spots in there, Dunedain. So when you
Yes.
scuff the polls, which you absolutely will, because you know the safe spots, Defcamp. I know the safe spots at this point. We've been doing it all day, but you will
Those
still scuff
trees are
it.
quick, baby.
You'll be
They're
you'll
they're
AFK
quick.
for a second, take a sip of Diet Coke or Snapple or whatever, and you're gonna pull some of those things, and
Yeah.
that's a huge yikes. And you have these two spots you can reliably reset the mobs at. They're these fallen down pillars,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So you can also go like pull it a couple lashers, nova them down, loot the Dreamfoil, and then hop up on the pillar, right, and reset them. And you can do that. And another thing, Defcamp, is you know, at least with my own route, I can do 2 packs at the same time. So pretty much you can do it safely if you know the safe zones. Like you can't do all of them like on private server and get them all
No.
a bunch of stuff, but
Yeah.
you can do 2 at the same time reliably.
Absolutely.
And then so you can do the whole bottom area in 6 pulls. I mean in 3 pulls. You get all 6 packs. I don't know. So I still think it's pretty good TLDR. The farm.
I do too. And here's the thing too. Like I yesterday, like I got all the safe zones down, and yesterday I still managed to pull I think I wasn't paying attention. I was like looting a book or something like that. Getting dream foil, something. Here comes 3 tree dudes booking it towards me. The best part is, I'm a priest. You're a warlock. You can howl terror. I can fear them. Fear them. Get my ass over to that pillar when I need to, and get up there and just wait till they reset. And you know, doing jump runs as well. So we did jump runs with 3 people. There's a way you can do it so a lot of people were saying there's no way to do the last boss in DM East without killing those 3 lasher packs in front of him. You can do it without killing them. What you do is, when you back in private servers, you would jump down on that pillar, then you jump down and kill the last boss, and you know, you wouldn't pull. Well, what's pulling is basically when the wall breaks and those imps come out, the imps are what's pulling those other packs. So all you have to do is stand by the wall that breaks. When those imps are about to come out, everyone just book it into the wall, and you kill the imps inside there, and it will not pull those extra packs. So you can do it without pulling those packs. It's pretty simple. And with 3 people, we actually, you know, doing DM East, you know, sometimes you get 3 rich thorium veins, you get plenty of herbs, we got a book, we got a bunch of
jump
stuff.
runs though are the ones it's the run I'm most sketched about though. I don't think it's that viable, bro, because you're splitting.
I don't think it is either. Honestly,
it's
I
kind of
did it because I needed the belt. After that, I'm just gonna do lasher runs. But like, here's the thing: as a shaman, shamans can't do that. And someone was just asking in chat, like, what's a good farm for a solo shaman? I mean, you know, princess, you're kind of screwed, right? She's nature immune. You can do it with flame shot, but honestly, like, Melderon's made a shitload of gold, and what he did to make gold, he did a lot of quests by himself, did a shit ton of quests by himself. He did a lot of other farming, so he would do like fishing. He would do a lot of just basically, you know, do dungeon runs, stuff like that. You can still make gold, you know, even if you're not a mage, a priest, or a warlock, whatever. You just have to, you know, find what your class is good at. Like, is your class good at soloing shit in the world? You know, then okay, maybe you'll be better off farming some elemental fire or shit like that.
Elemental fires are solid. There's those packs in by Flame Crest. And the other thing too is, you know what herb you can't get in Dire Maul, guys? Mountain Silver Sage, boys. And you need Mountain Silver Sage for a lot of stuff. Yep. So Mountain Silver Sage is definitely going to be the most expensive herb. It's going to trend in that direction very rapidly, if not so already. So another thing I have to say about so Kilroth was mentioning that you can solo DM East, all 3 bosses as a warlock. You can do that as any class actually with dots. The main thing is that it's just not worth your time. It takes forever. So you can go to, you know, that little aqua guy, aqua podros.
Hydrospawn.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, Hydrospawn, right? So you know his little swimming pool, right? His swimming pool.
Yeah.
So on the right side of the swimming pool, there's a column, like a Greek-looking column, right? And there's like a little strip of concrete right there. So you can pull the second boss, the sacrifice boss, or Aquapodos, or even the last boss to there, and it'll manipulate their pathing pretty much. You just dot them up, and you just keep like strafing back and forth, and like it'll just like bug them out, kind of like they'll just like keep going around that little path over and over again. And some people were saying that that's so good, but it's not even that good though. It takes forever to kill them, dude. You could do like so many princess runs.
Sometimes they just drop a green, you don't get anything, and it's like, boom, what the fuck?
So I'm saying, I've been disenchanting the greens in there. People said if it's level 51 or higher, disenchant it. If it's below that, sell it. But I DE'd the 51 plus, and I'm getting like one essence, bro. Like it. I don't know.
It's actually 56 plus would be better.
56 plus, yeah.
So the thorium is going down in price because there's more of it, right? Herbs going down in price, but still solid. Dreamflow in particular, always going to need Dreamflow, right? It makes a bajillion different things.
Yeah. Even if it's only going for 30 silver a piece, it's still good.
Yeah. And here's my favorite part about the Lasher farm in particular, though, right? So I think Maradon is a better farm. I think it's superior if you have herb mining and you're in Maradon, especially if you're able to turn them into sapper charges with the mithril, especially if you're able to make restorative pots from the elemental earth, if you're able to make all the elixirs and stuff and do Maradon and all this, right? But here's the cool thing about the Lasher farm, though, Defcamp. And this is a real thing when it comes to just mindlessly grinding gold. It's more fun, and the reason why it's more fun is you can get epics, dude. You never know what's gonna drop. You can get Journeyman backpack. I got 2 Journeyman backpack. I got 2 epics yesterday, Defcamp. I got Hurricane and Searing Arrow Bow. Pretty shitty epics. Like they pretty shitty though. They probably sell for like 10 gold. But
sometimes you might get
nothing.
Woods, you know.
Yeah,
you might get a hand to Edward the Odd, you know.
You see a purple, right? So it's more fun. Maradon, here's the thing about Maradon. Take it from someone who's done thousands of Maradon runs. You know exactly what you're going to get every time. It's pixel perfect, the run. You do it every time the exact same way. It's so mindless. because you know exactly what you're gonna get. So the quality of life in terms of like fun is -5 out of 10. You know,
I'll tell you what, too, Kargoz. What I really like about DM Lasher runs is I can put a fucking show on and watch it while I farm, like easily. Like Princess, you gotta fucking watch where you're going, right?
Yeah.
You gotta look. Oh shit, I gotta turn here. With DME Slasher farms, I can kill a mob, drink, watch what I'm fucking on Netflix, and then just keep going. It's much simpler, much easier time, and you don't really have to pay attention to what the fuck you're doing.
You know, pro tip, dude, I learned today from a video is, you know, that first tree when you go into DM East, he's a patrol tree.
Yep.
You killed that guy?
That one tree. No, I kill the first pack on the south side. Kill that pack there, and I actually go around the other side where I drop there.
That tree only has 7k HP, that first one, and it drops a gray like very frequently.
Really?
And he drops like 20
shit.
silver. He drops like 20 silver and a gray, only has 7k HP. So especially if you're a mage, you just know him down, shatter him, like he'll die in like 1 second.
I also always kill the stealth demon guys because they drop Fellcloth and demonic runes pretty much like all the time. So there's 2 stealth demon guys. One of them walks out of the room into the area with the lashers, and there's another one actually you can bypass Hydra spawn, and there's 2 more right there. So and there's usually a ghost mushroom there as well. So there's 2 more solo guys you can kill, and at least one of those guys is dropping a Fellcloth and a demonic rune.
Yep.
Like they drop like crazy off them.
So you can enslave them as a warlock too, and have them just kill all the imps around them, and stuff. All those satyrs you can enslave, which is pretty sweet. So my question to you guys is, what is going to go up in price as a result of Dire Maul? I already mentioned one with Silver Sage. Is there anything else that comes to mind that will
Marvel Acid definitely has gone up because of the Eye of the Wild
water, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Which can drop from Aquapodos. That can drop from Aquapodos. I got one yesterday.
Cured Rugged Hides have become really expensive.
Ruggeds,
Arcane Crystal went up like a huge amount. That's probably
really Arcane Crystal.
Yeah.
went
That's
up?
probably going to be more of a temporary thing.
I think that's probably because of the paladin.
Paladin and Warlock stuff.
Yeah. But
Righteous Orbs. I'm just throwing that out there because less people are doing Stratholme. That's a big one, dude.
Yes, that's a huge one. Yeah, Righteous Orbs are going to go up. And you know, one thing I've noticed too is, like you said,
C4 in its mats. That's a good one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting, right? Because like I heard thorium's going down a lot, but I wonder
actually,
if, like,
okay. What about frost oil or something like that? Because they were saying about for the trapping for Dire Maul Trib.
Oh.
Interesting.
Right. Yeah.
What does frost oil take? I forget what.
Oh, dude, Winter Bite, right? Isn't that useless herb that I always vendor in Lasher one? You know what I'm talking about, Defcamp? It's called Winter Bite.
Winter's Bite. Yeah.
I think don't you need that for the frost oil?
Yeah.
I think you do, bro.
Is that what it is?
I'm not sure what you need for frost oil, actually. Yeah.
Let me see. Look
it up. Yeah.
Frost oil. Frost oil. Created by Winter's Bite. Look, you need 4 Khadgar's Whisker and 2 Winter's Bite. Some of the most useless herbs ever from Dire Maul that you just end up vending.
I've been trying to sell Khadgar's though. It's pretty cheap though. Like Khadgar's Whiskers.
Well, it's probably because people don't realize. So maybe we should talk about that because bring up.
Yeah, it's true.
herbalism.
I don't even fully understand what you mean by it too, Taljro. Can you explain? That sounds like a pro strat right there.
So this is something that was being tested and discovered. I think this is I forget who it was that told us, but anyway, that the reason why people aren't getting big chests full of blues in the tribute run is because you cannot skip the bosses.
Yep.
And what I mean by skip is if you don't trap that the second dude, or I guess the third dude.
The third dude, yeah.
In the frost trap, then his effective trapping is not registered, and so you do not get the blue from him.
Yep.
So you must trap him to be able to get good full tribute chests. Otherwise, it's not good. The other thing is you must use the ogre suit on the captain if you want the captain's blue.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want those extra 2 blues, you must trap and you must use the suit. Otherwise, it's useless.
Yep.
Like it's a really crappy tribute run. Like you might get 1 blue. So if you want a good full tribute chest, you got to do it right.
Yeah.
No cheating.
Yeah, it was Al who told us that. Shout out to Al. Yeah, he basically said that you will never get the loot unless you do the trap, which is really interesting. Because you want to get as much loot as you can, right?
I'm buying frost oil recipe right now, dude. Fuck it.
Do it, dude.
Skyrocket now.
Let me hurry up
Yeah, right.
before people on Scare and buy it, dude. I'm buying it right now.
Mhm.
Because I'm alchemist on my mage. I'm looking for ways. That's because all the Grom's blood, Dream Foil, it's going down in price a little bit. But what if you can convert it into like a recipe, like to a potion that's gated behind a hard recipe or something, right? Then it may be able to make a little bit more money off of it.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah, it'll probably
Yeah,
take
so
a while
Carl-
for this to go up, but once people
Right.
realize it, I'll bet you it's
Yeah.
going to be really a lot more popular.
Yeah.
'Cause, you know, if you're going to do a trip run, you might as well do it right, so you can get
Exactly.
those
So
extra
yeah,
blues.
like Carl just said, he got 2 blues, 2 greens just by running past the boss as well. You'll get 3 blues if you don't. If you trap. Was it slip or is it? I forget which guard it is. I think it's slip kick, isn't it? Slip.
yeah, I think it's
yeah.
okay, yeah.
If you
Dude.
trap him, you'll get 3 blues instead of 2.
Dude, Frostwell is the hustle is selling for over 3 gold each. Oh, someone bought it
Because
already.
if you're trying to get those, you know, tarnished elven rings, you know, every chance you can get for that.
Someone just bought my Frostwell recipe right in front of me.
Kargoz, do you think
Oh, no.
power leveling engineering is worth it, or should you level mining with it, or is it not that bad to power level engineering?
It's not that bad. I would get herbalism engineering right now. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it depends what class you are, right? So it really depends what class you are. It really, really depends. If you're a warlock, dude, if I had to solo farm as a warlock, what I would do is I would personally get mining engineering because I need engineering to play. But if for some reason you didn't care about PvP, you didn't care about, you know, sappers and all that type of shit, I would
Right.
get mining herbalism and I would go into Maradon and do mining herbalism,
Okay.
right? But here's the thing: the sleeper cell thing also is sapper charges. I've been selling those like hotcakes. I was telling you about it, right, Defcamp? So they're a required raid consumable basically by every class, right? Everybody's using sapper charges, and it's Mithril that makes it. So Mithril is immune to the Dire Maul deflation of prices, right? It's immune to that. There's no Mithril in any of that, right? In Dire Maul at all. So it's just
Right.
it's Maradon. And I don't know, man. Sapper charges are sweet, and they take a long time to make. So people who need sapper charges for raid, they don't have time because you got to make the unstable trigger, and then after you make the unstable trigger, you make the sapper charges. Takes a while.
Right.
So sapper charges are selling for a mint. It's about a gold 30 to a gold 50 on Scarum at least.
Wow.
I've been selling some of those.
That's
I know.
interesting. I'm planning to go engineering when I have my epic mount and a lot of gold. So
Yeah.
in a year or so. Right now I'm enchanting it at 300, but
Okay, that's hey man, enchanting at 300. It's a lot of money to put into that.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But
But,
it's worth it. It's nice.
Yeah, enchanting that last 10 points, ooh, is expensive.
Yeah. I'm wondering what you guys are. I'm actually very happy that a lot of people think that tribute runs are much harder than they were on private servers and stuff. I'm actually happy about that. Like a lot of people are saying it's very hard to solo tributes, and you know it's becoming much more difficult to do that kind of stuff. I'm happy
It's a
about
good
that.
thing. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a good thing.
It's absolutely a good thing. I mean, it's a level 60 dungeon. It's like a high level 60 dungeon.
Yeah.
It should be hard. And the
Mhm.
fact that, I mean, you can still clear it smooth and efficiently if you know what you're doing. But
Right.
the fact that it's not just a face roll is nice. And I was talking to people when I was doing it. It's interesting. I think that, you know how we were saying that there was different drop rate effects between whether it was like a chrono server or others.
Right.
I think that there was also a difficulty curve between them too. I got the impression that DM West and North especially were a little bit undertuned for the difficulty level for Chronos because there was a lot of discussion of like, man, this is hard. Where's these guys coming from? And it's like, oh well, I'm used to this, having done it on the Lights Hope stuff. So, it's
So
like,
Right.
that's an interesting point, actually. Do you think Blizzard still buffed it, or do you think this is real vanilla
It
values?
I
felt
think
real
it's
to me.
real,
It
yeah.
seemed right. I mean, and I think it was closer to the Lights Hope style, which in general felt pretty accurate to me,
Right.
especially Dire Maul West, because I knew that was always pretty wicked hard, and it felt exactly how it did on Lights Hope in general.
And the drop rates are vanilla too.
It feels
much.
like it.
I'd say
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was interesting.
Except for the lashers, I do think the lashers have been nerfed a bit. I don't
Maybe
know.
a
What do you
bit,
think?
yeah.
Yeah.
Hard to say, but I mean
Yeah.
that's just good sense. Like Blizzard
Yeah.
should be smart enough not to let some big game.
Are you guys happy? Maybe you talked about this a second ago. Are you happy with the current difficulty of Dire Maul? A lot of people, I'd say, not to speak on the masses, but many people personally have said that they weren't expecting Dire Maul to be so difficult. And
Yeah,
Tribute
that's what I
Run.
was talking about. I'm actually
Okay.
happy.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
you're happy with it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I
I
am.
mean,
Yeah.
you know, especially Dire Maul North, right? And tribute run. So
Yeah,
if
those
tribute run,
dogs are hard, man.
oh yeah, dude.
Wow.
And like, you know, if tribute run was so easy that every hunter and shit was going in there and soloing tribute, that would be kind of ridiculous to me. And
would, yeah.
so I haven't done the tribute yet, but on my guy. But is this strat still available that where you get the range, put them on the side of the, you know, there's like the circle, and then there's a circle neck above that. Is the strat still to keep the range there and the nuke them?
No, I've heard that there's some kind of like kickback or something like that you can't have people separate up there
Okay.
or something like that. But I'm not sure. We just did the sort of really basic strat where everybody was on the main platform, and we burned the observer down, then we burned the king down. It was pretty
Right.
straightforward.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've done everything except for a tribute run because we were. I needed the gear out of East and West first. I got my. So we'll go over the gear as well too. So a lot of.
So, wait, about the difficulty, because I did only do BRD from the end game dungeons, but if you compare it with UBRS, for example, is UBRS really easy in comparison with
So
Dire
easy.
Maul?
Yeah, it's so easy.
Well,
So-
yeah, I mean, specifically the Uber's the early part was designed around 5-man. I mean, that's what was it John Stat's book said about that Uber's was supposed to be 5-man early, then it changed to 10-man probably around maybe up until going towards Rend and beyond. So that's why Uber's really feels so easy, especially at Rend Run,
Yeah.
But
Plus, Dire Maul
so-
came out later too, and
Right.
so they specifically tuned Dire Maul to be a little bit of a harder dungeon compared to those initial dungeons. Even though I'd say Strat and Skolo are probably both. Well, actually, they're a little easier now on vanilla than they were on private servers.
Yeah, I think
It,
strat is.
it makes sense, but
Yeah.
if I think of vanilla, I for me, in my memory at least, Dire Maul wasn't harder or not much harder than
Well,
the other endgame dungeons.
I think Uber's is easy until after Beast, right? The trash after Beast can be a little difficult.
Well,
and that's it,
here's the
though.
thing, though.
Yeah.
We're talking about doing Dire Maul with like 1 or 2 people, though, as opposed to like a 5-man party. Like when we're talking about Dire Maul difficulty, we're talking about like the ability to solo it or the ability to 2-man it. So like stealth runs are requiring 3 people right now, not 2. That's a big deal. So the gold per hour in a 3-man Dire Maul tribute run is pretty terrible. It's like 20 gold an hour or something like that. It's pretty awful.
Yeah,
So like you need to get it so it's 2 people, and right now people, or at least the strats aren't there or something like that. But I don't know.
Right.
People haven't been having that much success with 3-man Dire Maul East jump run is trash too. Like it's just too many hands
I
in the
don't think
pot.
It's
It's
worth
not
it.
not worth. So selling gear in tribute, if you can solo it as a hunter, is probably the play. You can sell drops there. There's a way to get people there apparently, whether you can just invis pot and then wait the whole duration and invis pot again if you want. But you can sell some of the gear in there for like 100 gold or so. That's pretty solid.
Wow.
Selling
100 gold?
Yeah, selling like the staff for 100 gold. But people were doing that in trade earlier. You can sell the warlock the class completion, the quest completion, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's one thing you can make out of Dire Maul.
I saw people were selling the mage quest for the water for 5 gold. That's messed up. We actually had a mage. Shouts out. I forget the mage's name, but saw that was happening and said, "No, screw that. I'm gonna go give it to everyone for free." So people were actually trying to sell the mage water quest for like 5 gold.
What do you mean sell the mage
but
water
that's not
quest?
gonna last very long,
So- What they do is basically they get the quest inside DM West, and they don't do the next part. They share the initial quest that you get in DM West to people who haven't gone in there yet.
to save that first run or whatever.
Take the
Wait,
first
what?
run,
What do you
whatever,
mean?
yeah.
You just go right into north and open the door. It's right there.
I know. Well, people were selling the quest. I guess for people who didn't know, because you can go into north and I guess for some people who can't, because I can bypass that group as a priest. You just mines through them. Maybe for lower levels who can't bypass that group.
You can,
I
you
don't
can
know,
bypass
you
the group in north. No, it's no problem. Which boat?
I mean, maybe if you're lower level, when you walk in, I don't know. But people were selling the initial
I think they're
quest, the
saying
starter
for like
quest for 5
the
gold.
people who don't want to do DMEs to get the key, then to go to north and then to go back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, someone with
So
a
you don't need
yeah.
that first to get
'Cause
the
you
key.
don't- you don't-
get
you
the
won't have
key
the
and do it
crescent key, yeah.
at the second run in one run instead. So it saves you
Yeah.
one run worth.
I see.
Because you wouldn't have the crescent key otherwise, right? Yeah.
Because everybody's desperate to get the water before the raid
Can you
that
check
same
this?
day, pretty
Yeah.
much, or whatever.
Did I miss if the Lasher farm is worth it? So here's the thing, right? We're talking about the Lasher farm, and I personally definitely think it is worth it if you are an herbalist. If you're an herbalist, you could probably make close to what do you think, 40 to 50 gold an hour if you're lucky.
Yeah, I saw
Kargoz?
Frost saying it's 50 gold an hour if you're an herbalist. But
Yeah.
you know, the cool thing though, like I said, the number one perk of doing that farm, I think, is like it's fun. It's pretty easy once you get the hang of it, and you always have the possibility of travelers backpacks and purples, and that is huge for morale when it comes to gold farming for extended periods of time. The possibility of looting something and getting something exciting, right?
Absolutely.
Getting something that can make you a ton of gold. Whereas Maraudon, it's like 4 drops on each boss. You just feel sad every time there's no Gator Bite axe off Rock Rip. You just feel terrible when there's just Blackstone Ring after Blackstone Ring. You can't even loot the damn thing. When you don't get a scepter, you know, you kill Rock Rip and he drops the freaking albino crocolisk shoe, and you're like, oh my god, like.
Dude, I get excited when I get a serrated petal. I don't know about you. I see a serrated petal, and I'm like, oh shit, that's like 60 silver right there. One of them, dude. You know, it's fucking. You know, you get like 10 serrated petals, dude. That's like, I mean. Between the grays, so like I you know stack up the gray items for a while, but I sold the gray items. So I like, this is what I do. I like to stack the grays as much as I can for like one day, and then I sell them all at the end of the night, and you make like 30 gold. You see like 30 gold or 40 gold, whatever, just from those gray items. It's really nice to see. But yeah, I don't know. That's how I like doing it. But yeah, I get excited when I see a serrated petal drop. Fuck, man.
Well, those are the gray, right?
Yeah, it's serrated petal, lasher, root, and something else. The 3 different kinds of gray items that you get.
Thanks for the 5, Papa. Yeah, some pretty solid gear for sure. Not bad, not bad.
But yeah. So the gear for me that I'm going in there, for DM West. So as a healer, as a priest, right? Out of DM East, there's some really good gear. Well, actually, basically one really good piece of gear. Which is the Whipvine Cord. And this drops off the last boss. So if you're doing like DME East jump runs, you're gonna want to go to the last boss, the Whipvine Cord.
Which piece of gear are you talking about?
It's called the Whipvine Cord. It is it's a cloth waist item that has 9 intellect, 6 mana per 5 seconds, and 31 bonus healing.
That's a pretty nice.
So I think it's actually
BIS right now, isn't it? Yeah,
I think it's BIS for like all fucking healers, honestly. I don't know if there's a better waist piece than that, but
there is an epic.
Is the epic? Oh yeah. What is that one called?
Oh, the
Sash of Mercy.
Sash of Mercy. Yeah.
Because Corehound Belt's not available yet.
Right.
Once that one comes out, then that'll be
for
better.
Cloth, yeah, it's really fucking good.
Yeah, especially for cloth. Yeah, because Sash of Mercy is leather too.
For plate, there's a World Drop 2 belt of Dunedain.
Oh yeah.
But if you can get those. That's definitely good.
And then you have like gloves of restoration, which are leather, 37 plus healing, 9 int, 10 stam. That's off of Alzin as well, the last boss in DM East.
How much is it? 27?
It's 37 healing.
37.
Yeah, leather. Yeah. There's a 6 MP5 ring, which isn't bad for shamans. But here's the thing about like Melderon was saying about like a lot too much MP5 right now. You know, it's not really needed because of you know, but I think MP5 is still great. I love having MP5 on here. It's amazing to have, especially on dispel fights as a priest. But yeah, so DM East, there's a lot of good some, you know, it's pretty simple, some good healing gear. DM West, the main item there for me to get was well, first of all, you know, the Mind Tap Talismans, which give 11 mana per 5 seconds. Great for shamans, great for priests on dispel fights. But the main item that I got was Padre's Trousers, right? 20 intellect, 6 MP5, and 42 healing, dude.
It's BIS for paladins too.
Yeah, it's BIS for everybody. That's really.
You know, and in tier 2 legs are like, I mean, they're great and all, but they're literally like just a minor improvement. I mean, yeah, they have spirit and stam on them, but it's crazy how much, just how much bonus healing and MP5 the Padres give. They're so friggin' good, man.
Talajo, from your perspective, dude, how much of a how big of a deal is it with all this Dire Maul gear out with regard to, you know, power level, clearing Molten Core and Ani and stuff? It already feels pretty straightforward doing MC and Ani. Like, is this going to be some huge
I don't think
increase?
it's going to be honestly that big of a deal. You know, not to get all salty about stuff, but all that stuff that got released into you know, the other dungeons, all those blues like Crimson Felt Hat kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty much equal to the Dire Maul stuff, so it's sort of let the cat out of the bag with all that in the first place. So
I agree.
Not really that big of a deal. It's like, okay, whatever.
For Paladin, you have those. That's also for Shaman, I guess. Those gloves, the Harmonious Gauntlets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are
So that's quite a big deal for the hands, at least. Otherwise, I think you had to go to Sunken Temple and get really lucky with the plus healing gloves.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh, that's a high roll.
Yeah.
Thing. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, isn't hands still really good for you guys too, though?
I didn't understand that.
Isn't Hands of the Exalted Herald really good for you guys too? The cloth ones from Princess.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
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 But
But
the light gloves would be better, but
yeah, right.
it's an easier way. Basically, it's the easiest piece to get. But now in Dire Maul North, you can get Harmonious Gauntlets, and
Right.
also for the head part, the Insightful Hood is really good.
Yeah, and then Dire Maul North has a couple other good pieces. Has the boots from Captain Crown Crush, the boots of the full moon, have 12 stam, 9 spirit, and 26 healing. And then of course the brightly glowing star, which is the offhand that you want to get, has 37 bonus healing, 7 stam. Obviously you want benediction, but if you before you have that, it'll replace your royal scepter. From
Actually, the two things I think is really interesting is the Distracting Dagger and Mugger's Belt, both of which gives you, as a tank or as a dual wielder, very interesting avenues towards doing very strong dagger DPS or threat per second in raids.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think I've seen a lot of warriors go dagger now, like tanks and stuff, and it's
it makes it easier because those really do unlock that for that. And
There
that's
we
the
go.
thing that Dire
Mugger's
Maul does
Belt, dude.
unlock.
Plus 5 daggers. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep, and a belt,
Yeah.
it's like, you can throw a belt on. It doesn't really affect your gear too
Yep.
much. Really
Or,
worth
and you
it.
can put the gloves on too, the ones from MC,
Aged core
Aged
leather
core
gloves.
down
Yeah,
leather gloves. Yeah.
you stick because those are great. They even have a ton of stam on them. So
Yep.
you get those gloves and or the belt, and man, you can go dual wield daggers all day long.
Yeah.
You got pretty solid tank gear, and it's daggers are nice for the speed, so
Absolutely. Yeah.
it's not a bad option for tanking.
Dude.
Yeah, it's really not.
Also, as a warlock, man, dude, as a warlock who didn't get Briarwood Reed, I'm so happy the Eldritch Thala seal is you can get it so easily
dude.
now. The class books, man. So if you haven't gotten them already, unless you're, which one are they bad for? I know Mage is pretty terrible, but
Mage is pretty terrible. I know the ones that they're good for. They're really good for
Paladin
priest,
is
obviously.
bad.
Druid seems
bad.
good.
Druid's
good.
amazing.
Druid's
Hunter's
really good.
amazing.
Hunter's amazing.
Yeah.
Mage is
And
terrible.
Warrior's god awful.
Warrior's horrible. Yeah.
Why is the Paladin one so bad? Is that just underwhelming? The healing 22.
I mean, compared to Briarwood Reed, like Briarwood blows it out of the water.
But I mean, if you haven't gotten Briarwood yet, a lot of people, man, it's rough getting that one, dude.
Yeah,
It's rough.
except what? So you're gonna pay like 50 gold or something for it? I
Yeah.
mean, it's just not
Honestly, I'm running right now. I'm running Seal of Eldrathal, so that's for me. It has
Ooh, priest, yeah,
4
33, 4 MP5.
and 33 healing, and I'm running Second Wind with that. So Second Wind has a little bit less healing than Briarwood Reed, but you also get that 10-minute cooldown with that 300.
The rogue one is
15-minute
insane, dude.
cooldown.
2% hit on a trinket.
Oh yeah, shit, 2% hit. Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's the rogue one.
Oh right. Yeah.
Shaman damage healing
Shaman's
with
okay.
23. It's alright. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like similar to a Briarwood Reed, same as the warlock. And then warrior one is it's pretty terrible.
Yeah.
Pretty terrible.
I mean, it's not even good for a tank, right?
Yeah.
No, the warrior one is just the worst. I think it's the literal worst comparative to everybody. It's just
But you have Kelsarar, of course, so
Closer, dude. That's
makes
it,
up for
dude.
it.
that makes up
True.
for it. Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So,
Dude, well,
how much is
you know
it
the
as
most
a-
impactful thing though on clear times here though on with Dire Maul out, dude. It's the Mage Water, brothers. It's the Mage
Oh,
Water.
dude.
Like I'm
It is-
telling
yeah,
you, man.
yeah.
Everybody
You know,
loves
okay.
that.
Yeah, that was a funny thing. Like last night's first raid, I opened trade with a mage, and he put like 6 stacks of the crap water in there. I couldn't hit the X fast enough. I didn't even say anything. I just hit X. It was just like no.
Yeah.
Not
You
doing
probably
with the
felt
good
so
stuff,
bad,
dude.
dude. You
Yeah, it's
probably
like
felt
not even doing that. Nope.
Isn't that priority number 1, dude? As a mage,
That
Dire
is,
Maul
bro.
comes
It
out, go
should
get
be,
that
yeah.
water, dude.
Yeah.
It takes like 1
It's like,
That's
second.
I'm
the
not
first thing we
drinking
did
your
is
crap water.
we got aesthetics. One of our mage buddies is 55 water. That was like the first thing we did.
Yo, it's so funny
Yeah,
too
dude.
that the final boss that you need to kill to get your water quest done is immune to frost, dude. So you can't frost bolt them. You like need help, dude. Yeah.
We did it with. I literally did it with 4 mages and myself. The first time. So we were looking for people. Like we did the first quest. We found a bunch of people who needed the second part to kill Hydra spawn, and I was like, dude, let's just find mages who need it. We found 4 mages, and they all were frost, and they all had to use fireballs to kill them. It was pretty funny.
That's funny, man.
Yeah. So yeah, I got 4 mages. They're 55 water. So now I added them all to friends. I can pick them up when I need water. I hope.
Shall we transition maybe to the next topic?
Yeah.
BlizzCon.
Yeah, absolutely. BlizzCon. So BlizzCon's coming up. We were talking about this. I don't know how you guys are feeling about this, guys, but we're gonna be at BlizzCon. I'm gonna be there. Defcamp's gonna be there. Taladrill's gonna be there. Dunedain won't make it this time.
I'm not.
He'll be there in spirit.
Absolutely.
This is gonna be a very telling BlizzCon. I'd be really interested to see what you guys think about this coming up. There's been some craziness going on, and Blizzard, Classic's gonna be there. We're due for an expansion for BFA. Like they're gonna announce that, right? And I'm very interested to see what kind of hype is there for that. Like, is it gonna be a lot of hype, a little bit of hype? Is it gonna be no hype? Is it gonna be
there's gonna be some hype, I think.
So.
There's got to be some hype. Like people definitely are excited about it.
Yeah.
I don't know though. It's gonna be so weird because it really is like the elephant in the room. Like, what
Seriously,
are they gonna do?
I think many people are interested to see what they are going to do, and there's a bigger audience this time for WoW expansions.
Even the story is like, what are they gonna do for the
Oh
story?
my God,
People are
seriously.
so pissed.
Story
I mean, the
so
story
scuffed,
is
bro.
so bad.
Dude,
this time.
Sylvanas
It's
is
so
like
bad.
literally Garrosh 2.0.
Can I get some F's in the chat for
Come on,
Volpera,
dude.
please? Please, for the Volpera
Oh,
inclusion. Can I get some F spam in the chat for the Volpera?
Can I just say
Who
something?
wanted that, bro? Who wanted that? Be honest. If
No
you wanted
one.
it,
No one.
it's the
Dude,
internet
what
is
the-
anonymous. If you wanted Volpera, say, I want Volpera. Say something, dude. But
Do you think they're worse than pandas?
yes, absolutely, bro. It reminds me of Wildstar. It's like some furry little, like, what is
So
going
bad.
It's basically
on, bro?
Wildstar, you're right.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
Here's the thing. This is literally the first expansion. Like BFA, I at least had some interest in because Classic wasn't out yet. This is the first expansion
Yeah.
I could give a shit less about, dude. Literally give a shit less about. I do not care anything about the next expansion. You could tell me that they were gonna have fucking no more factions, and
they
were
might,
going
though.
to-
They might remove the
like-
factions,
like,
dude.
You could literally tell me
That'd be
that fucking
crazy.
Thrall was gonna go to the Alliance. I wouldn't give a shit, dude. I wouldn't
That's a
give
good
a shit.
point. I honestly feel the same way, Defcamp. I've had like only the barest simmering of interest in the expansions, but this time it's truly like the
Yeah.
only interest is more like, what are they even gonna do interest? It's not even like, let's see what how it transpires. It's just
How
like,
can they beat this force anymore? That's
right,
the interest I have now.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I'm a little bit different in that, I think.
Yo, this game looks so
Um,
scuffed, dude.
I think it's
Oh
super
my
interesting to see what they're going to do.
Can you imagine them sitting in a boardroom like, all right, Johnson, we need the next race. What's it going to be? And they're like, based on all the data that we've collected over the course of the last 2 years, it's Volpera, guys. Like, it's going to get everyone super hype, and they're all going to come back in mass, dude. I don't know,
I
man.
feel like this was a meme. Like I feel
This
like they
is a meme,
literally
dude.
forums.
Well,
the
that's
retail
what the
people.
pandas was. The pandas was the meme.
But here's the thing, dude. Like at least okay. I will always say this. Like at least
So
fucking
scuffed,
champions of the war, Warcraft 3. Here's the thing about fucking Volpera, dude. I literally feel like they go on the forums and they look at, oh, here's 7 people who want Volpera. Let's give it to them. Like they try to make everybody happy in retail.
Hold on,
Everybody. And look at that fucking totem. What is that?
Yo, who actually wanted it though? Like, does anybody know anyone who wanted a Volpera? Like, I gotta meet these people. I gotta like interview them. I gotta be like, all right, man, tell me your
I
origin
mean,
story.
This is probably sort of like off of Guardians of the Galaxy kind of interest or something. Is probably where they're actually pulling this. They're like, oh, people liked Rocket. Okay, let's do this.
You know what it's got to be? It's got to be little kids, man. I feel like they may be making data-driven decisions to pivot the game towards a more younger audience. Maybe they're doubling down with that, and young kids want the cute
don't know what
animals
they're
and stuff.
thinking, dude.
It's got to be that. I mean, it has to be, bro. But I
It
can't
literally
help.
looks like a goblin. It looks like a goblin's body with a fucking fox's head on it. Is that just me? It's a goblin's body,
That's
right?
true. It does look a
It's
little
a
bit
goblin's body
photoshoppy.
with a fucking
Yeah.
fox's head on it, dude.
I can't help but think that retail's turning into like Disney the MMORPG, like the Disney Princess MMO, which is like
Yeah,
fine.
it
People
feels
might
that
like
way,
that, but it's like it's looking more and more like League of Legends every day. Everything is getting more cutesy-fied and stuff. Like, and here's the thing
Well,
too, man.
their art direction's been in that Disneyfied for a long time at this point.
Yeah, it has been. I don't know, man.
They basically have two ways to do this. Well, they have multiple ways, but two opposite ways. Either go a little bit with the classic hype and put things from classic in the new expansion, or go the entire opposite way and do it further down the BFA road and the Legion road and stuff like that.
Yeah, just like truly sever the ties and be like, you know what,
Yeah.
you guys who care about classic, just go to classic, and we're gonna do like BFA style, like new modern MMO, completely separately, differently. Like that might honestly be the safer route, because it's then they just like vocally are saying it's two separate games, guys. Just do what you want to do, you know.
But I think it's super important they do either of those, so they actually go entirely to the vanilla style or entirely to the new style. If they do something in between, no one will be happy with the expansion.
But I feel like that's
So,
what
someone is saying in the chat, people have been asking for the Volp race since they came out. There are petitions from thousands of people. If that is true, please send me that, dude. I need to see that.
I'm sure there are, but thousands of people versus the majority, it's not the majority. But here's the thing, Dunedain, I guarantee you, they're going to do exactly that, what you just said. Because here's the thing, they're trying to bring the vanilla essence of it back to a point, to a degree, right?
Do you think they are? Do you think they're going to take it? Is there a chance
they're reining back the leveling, right? They rein back they're making the levels probably going to be at like level 60 cap. They're making the leveling experience a little bit more difficult. They've already done that. So I feel like I feel like retail is just a fucking mix of like so many different things of what so many people want. Oh, we want it to be more vanilla like. Oh, we want it to be more Disney like. Oh, we want it to be more cartoony. Give me Volpyr, give me this. Retail doesn't know what the fuck it's gonna be. It doesn't know what to be anymore.
Yikes.
I feel like it's literally
Big
a mix
yikes.
of everything. And that's why it's so bad.
It's either
system on system.
Yeah, it's either new or it's going back to the old days. But that's why I'm excited for the BlizzCon. I want to see what they want to do with the new expansion. If they decide somehow they want to make it more classic,
like true.
Really more classic.
True.
That would be interesting.
That would be very interesting. We'll see what they do. See, this is what I'm saying.
But-
They're at a crossroads right now. IMO, where like classic came out, they have this like mixture of people of different sensibilities. They have the retail scene, they have the classic scene. Diablo was a disaster last year, right? It actually became a legendary meme, right? And they took an IP that was a cherished IP that has gone back for decades and decades, a cherished hardcore PC gamer IP with a very dark visual style, very like immersive and visceral, dark, like demonic lore and stuff, something that would be rated R in a movie or whatever you want to call it, right? And they kind of turned it into a dumpster fire and had another you know another like development team build some mobile like thing out of it, turned everybody off, right? So let's see how they respond to that this year. Are they going to release some dark, amazing cinematic Diablo type
They
thing?
have to do Diablo.
Are they?
They have to.
I mean, that's the rumor, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe last year, many people thought there would be a new MMO, Diablo MMO, but now we have vanilla WoW. I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna do an MMO. MMOs take so much work, you know. They're not a casual game. Like they're way more than just a single player game. And to have a WoW and Diablo MMO,
Yeah, doesn't seem
And
right.
they're
too
long-term
much.
investments, and they don't.
Yeah. That's why they just keep doing
my
expansions, because expansion on a game is way
Exactly.
easier than doing a whole separate brand new MMO. Like, it's
And
crazy.
I know I want to just bring this up, but like the whole.
They got the
classic-
cool Fortnite dances, dude. I'm
about-
resubscribing, dude.
Oh, stop.
Oh my god.
Stop, dude.
They got the dab.
Classic-
You guys want to play a
lot more-
Volpyr that can dab, dude?
Oh god, dude. You're gonna non-ironically.
Dude,
But,
I'm playing, dude. Fuck classic.
All the fucking like, a lot of people are talking about Classic Plus right now, and I don't know where it came from, but like, listen, I just want to put this out there. I think like we need like the route I think it should go is obviously I want to see BC, I want to see Wrath. Maybe down the line, once that's done, once retail's done, maybe they'll try to do something new and different, like a Classic Plus esque type thing, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime
I don't
soon.
see
if
that happening.
Yeah. And I think people are living in dream world right now when it comes to that. You know,
Well,
like,
so here's the point that I was thinking of that it just sort of explains why Blizzard is absolutely going to do TBC. Okay, you could go the Classic Plus route. It's like, okay, Classic ends at the end of Nax. They could add new content, right? That would be so cool.
yeah, it's a lot of money though.
Sure, it's a lot of money, but skip that. How many people would agree to that if Blizzard says we're going to do Classic Plus and we're never going to do TBC ever.
Oh.
Fuck no.
Nobody is going to say that. Nobody. Everybody will be pissed because that's the only route you can do Classic Plus.
There you go. Dust the Reaper just said it. TBC is Classic Plus. There you go.
Exactly.
That's
exactly.
right, dude.
So,
yeah.
and the thing is, just from a monetary standpoint, to get back to that, is they're sitting on data and content, and all they have to do is modernize it to the modern client. That's way cheaper than developing fresh.
Yeah.
So I mean, and that's what they did with Classic. That's what they can do with TBC. And the TBC data is going to be cleaner than Classic data.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
going to be easier. They're going to be
They still
used
have
to
it,
this.
right? Yeah.
Right. So like they actually have versions of that. So getting
Yeah.
TBC up and running should be much easier, and then Wrath even easier than that.
Right.
So
Ooh.
there's no question, like to me, that you're just going to be seeing TBC content, and that's going to be where they go with route.
And I know I don't want to get off too long on a tangent, but a lot of people are saying like, oh, let's do TBC without flying mounts. Obviously, no. Like flying mounts were a part of TBC. The whole landscape is around. So, however, I would like to see Wrath without LFD.
I think they might do that. I could see that where they say we're going to give you everything of Wrath except for LFD.
Yeah,
sounds good.
That's a pretty minimal change. Everybody's they're like, yeah, we get it. You hate LFD, and you know that's pretty simple. And then they do Wrath, and I could see, you know, this is like a 6-year time frame. They let it go for Wrath, and then they go, okay, guys, reset back to Classic, and they do the same thing over again. 6-year time frame for a game, you can have that live in perpetuity, and no big deal. You know?
Yeah. So I didn't want to go on that tangent too long, but
just on the general side, BlizzCon, as you said, last year was a disaster. So this year I expect really a lot, like new expansion, new Diablo game, some new stuff for all the other games. But do you also expect some new IP or anything?
I don't know, man. I'm so vested into the Warcraft IP, dude. Like, I want this to work. Let me ask you guys something. Like, do you guys want Warcraft to be an IP that's associated with rich high fantasy, Tolkien type lore, Lord of the Rings, Magic the Gathering, Dungeons and Dragons, Diablo, need I say more? The dark high fantasy where sweaty neckbeards can rejoice in how rich and flavorful the fantasy is? Or do you want it to be associated with Fortnite, League of Legends, mobile, like Volperas, furries? Like, I don't know, man. Like, is this... It blows my mind.
The question is, though, is not what we want anymore, because I feel like that. Like, I don't know. It's
They abandoned the what do we want a long time ago. That's why we're here.
But have they? I don't know. How the fuck do we get Volpira? It's like they listen to the minority. It's like they listen to.
Maybe that's the majority, though, man. Maybe that's the majority, though. Maybe all the data is saying mobile is the future. You know, hardcore PC gamers is not lucrative. It's not the future. The games industry isn't trending in the direction of hardcore PC gaming anymore. We need to adapt. We need to go mobile. We need to make things more light and funny and whimsical and Disney-like. Maybe that's what the data is saying. Maybe that's where the money is.
That's probably right.
Yeah. You hate to see it. And I'm speaking critically because I love the Warcraft IP. It's the IP in my life that I've invested the most into, right? And like, you know.
So if they want to make the most money, they should probably go to the Fortnite route and the mobile stuff and stuff. But there will always be a market too for the Lord of the Rings style and the old classic WoW.
I don't think they can be both.
They cannot be both, no. So they have to decide, and this BlizzCon will really show us which side they choose.
It will be a very telling
they probably
BlizzCon.
will, But will they do it at BlizzCon? See, that was their big mistake with Diablo Immortal, is they were like, oh, well, here's our new IP, and we're like, we don't care about IP that's not PC gaming related. So, you know, maybe they do the mobile gaming or console or whatever other kind of stuff, but they just don't mention it at BlizzCon because it's not smart to mention it.
I feel like Blizzard had to take a long, hard look at themselves recently, and this BlizzCon may be the result of what they have found. If they come out and say, you know, Diablo 4, fucking, you know, new Warcraft expansion, whatever the fuck it is, obviously, or if they come out and say, you know, whoever the fuck knows what, like, I like Volpir, fucking, you know, I don't know, like, but I honestly think, like you said, this will be a very telling BlizzCon, and listen, we've got Classic, right? We got Classic WoW. It does go to show that there is still a heartbeat there. There are people working on good things there. There are people who care about, the community. There are people who care about the PC gamers, the people like us. There are people there, but as a whole, Blizzard has to make a decision like what they're gonna fucking.
Dude, no.
What is that?
Dude, look at this dude. This Benjamin Button disease gnome with purple eyes and
Benjamin
like.
Button is perfect. That is
What is
Benjamin
that?
Button.
He's an
Oh my
amputated leper with Benjamin Button disease. Dude, sign me up, bro. I'm playing.
Wait a minute, there's leper gnomes now?
No, it's called Mecha Gnome. They added another one too. This isn't even the worst. You know, the retail's in a bad spot when Mecha Gnome looks like the coolest thing to play. Like, I'm not even joking.
Oh, God.
I might even play a Mecha Gnome, dude. Like, this guy's looking actually kind of alright. Dude, so here's the thing too. So yeah, what I would be mindful of, everyone watching right now, and again, like, Blizzard can shut me up at any point in time, right? Like, I'm, dependent on their IP to make content and all this type of stuff, right? But I'm just trying to be honest. Like, I would go into this BlizzCon, and I think it's a really critical BlizzCon for them. They have to kind of define what direction they want to go in the future. Like, are they going to move away from the hardcore PC gaming market? Because this is the BlizzCon that if it's disastrous and there's another slap in the face to like the hardcore PC gaming market, they may just lose those people. Like, it may be GG no re. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Yeah, I'm it's gonna be fun either way because we get to chill with the boys and everything. But we'll see what they do.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome. Yeah, it's gonna. But you're right. It is gonna be very interesting to see what happens because they are at a bit of a tangent right now. And Diablo Immortal showed that. It's like they were like, let's do more mobile stuff. It's like, okay, hey, if that's the kind of company you're gonna be, you're gonna be a mobile company. That's one thing. But are they leaving PC gamers on the doorstep, or are they going to refine their roots and give us something that we
design
want?
elements and
So,
gameplay for next WoW
It's actually
expansion, I would
first
be
year I'm tempted to buy
excited
a
about that.
BlizzCon digital ticket. I
Just
think
to
it's
see
way
what happens.
overpriced, but
Yeah, it
just to
is.
see what happens because it's really just so interesting.
Yeah.
Thanks to the $5 Force Go Shadowlands with classic design elements and gameplay for the next WoW expansions. I would be excited about that. Yeah, I mean, I'm rooting for Blizzard here. Don't get me wrong. They're my favorite gaming company to this day. I want them to win. I want them to like fix it and to
Same
be
here.
everything. But
I'd love for them to make something that I want to play. That would be fantastic.
right.
Could you
But
imagine?
I'm
like,
just
yeah.
waiting in the sidelines right now.
Best case scenario, this BlizzCon, we get the WoW expansion that actually brings us back to Classic, or in the same spirit of Classic, with actually new gaming content in the same spirit, and we get basically all kind of nice new games to play. Like Diablo 4 would be cool. Some great
Oh my God, I would love
Hearthstone expansion.
Warcraft
or
3, they just shit the
Warcraft-
bed with that, dude. Like, it's
Yeah,
literally the end of the
something-
year. They legally have to deliver on Warcraft 3 in like a month, by the way, guys. And if they don't, like, they're in
Wow.
breach of contract. They've said nothing about it. It's just
Like, yeah, what the
there's
fuck?
nothing has happened there. Nothing has happened. We have Warcraft 3, like literally zero
Reforged,
announcements.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
they're Reforged, and they're legally obligated to deliver on that by the last day of the year. So keep that in mind.
Wow.
Warcraft 3.
That's weird.
So I got a question, like, because I'm thinking about this new IP thing, Dunedain, that you mentioned, like,
Mhm.
and I'm thinking, what would be a really fucking awesome like new IP that you bring out? Like they've done the first person shooter thing, right?
Yeah.
They've
I don't
done,
like that, but okay.
Yeah, I would love like a almost like a Dark Souls-esque type, like, I don't know, but like here's the thing, like, are they going a different route with? Maybe they're going to go a different route with Diablo. They're not going to do the top down. They're going to do like a different view, like a third person. I don't know, like what would you guys like out of Blizzard as like a new IP?
I want
Would it be something
okay.
interesting to you?
I want them to hit us with that hardcore OG dark high fantasy unapologetic game design. Oh, you don't
Yeah.
like that the main character gets killed by and his whole family gets murdered by demons in the first scene? Sorry, too bad, man. But just be savage about it. Care about the lore and build something that it's like people can take seriously, and like I almost feel embarrassed at times saying that I like Warcraft when I'm looking at this, like.
I know, man. I know.
Yeah.
I feel embarrassed that like, oh, you're a content creator. What game do you cover? Oh, I cover World of Warcraft. Oh, you mean the game with like the scuffed-looking leper gnome amputees with like weave on? Oh yeah, that game. Oh, cool, man. Like
What is this
hard
game?
pass. Like I don't know, man. What I would say too. So they have Lord of the Rings on Netflix right now. I know a lot of you guys you know, have Netflix.
But they don't have the Fellowship. What the fuck?
Oh, they don't have the Fellowship. Damn. Well, what I would say.
They only got two towers in Return of the King.
What?
Yeah.
I've been saying this for months, man. I've been saying this for months. But if you guys could do me a huge favor, all of you guys watch right now, not many of you, there's not many of us left, yo. You could do me a huge favor. Go watch the first half hour of the original Lord of the Rings. Take a trip back 2 decades. It will remind you why you like this type of stuff. Like why you originally played WoW. Why you like elves and goblins and demons and orcs and all that type of stuff. Because they're doing it right.
Yeah.
That original.
No joke. Best 30 minutes of any movie ever.
Oh, absolutely.
Really. Yeah.
So good, yeah.
And they're able to create this kind of cutesy, like they have the hobbits in there, right? Which aren't like some some savage, like brutal race or whatever, but they kind of had their own swag and appeal. Like they were clever, they had agility.
They feel like people, you know, they feel like real people with flaws, you know, that's the kind of thing I think it's too Disneyfied, like you guys were saying earlier. It's just, the characters don't feel real right now. They feel like caricatures. Everything is a caricature. I want to see reality. You know, even if it is cartoony, you can still have reality cartoony kind of feel. Classic has that kind of feel, and that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So
like that.
to come back on your point, Defcamp, I honestly don't need a new IP. I'm happy with Warcraft. It's my favorite IP from Blizzard. I like StarCraft. I do not really like Overwatch at all. Diablo is okay-ish, but Warcraft is just, that's the thing. So in a perfect world, I would like to see a new kind of World of Warcraft 2, basically.
Yeah.
But then in the spirit of vanilla.
Let me ask you, Dunedain, do you see, because I view separately now very much, like Warcraft 1, 2, and 3, World of Warcraft Classic, TBC, and Wrath, you know, they were much darker, like you said, Kargoz. Things were much more serious. I feel like even the lore was a lot darker, and now, like I said, things are much more Disney-esque, you know. We've got a friggin' gnome on there with, you know, like goggles, and, you know, it's the overall, the overall personality of Warcraft has changed over the years.
Yeah.
And I really feel like we need to try to get that old personality back, that darker, the more, just to be taken more seriously.
Remember getting scared by games when I was a little kid, loading up Diablo 2 and actually getting scared, buying that from Costco and being like kind of looking around and being like, yo, I'm not scared. Like this game, you know, this game's not scaring me, you know, and kind of like just trying to, but it kind of was low key scary or high key scary, you know what I'm saying? And like playing a game that was a little edgy and dark and like, dude, fuck no, that's not happening, not at all there anymore. Like
creepy, you know, just creepy. Just anything that's just not fun and cutesy would be good.
But also, we don't need 25, 30 classes. We just need orcs, undead, humans, dwarves, night elves, and I'm happy with that. I mean, that we don't need all those things.
Keep the gameplay simple and clean and basic, you know.
Warcraft is like you say, it's about Lord of the Rings style. It's about orcs versus humans and some other races. That's the main thing. Why do we need those mecha gnome things?
I honestly don't think there's a saving grace for retail, guys. I think...
Yeah, I don't... There's no one golden bullet that's going to solve.
That's true. Especially with these new races in here, too, man. I don't know what they could even do. Even if they wanted to take a hard pivot, it's like too far gone, pretty much. Like, with all the little furries and stuff.
So WoW 2 would be something? Is that something you think they will ever do?
No.
What? Say what?
It's a new World of Warcraft and new MMO.
I hope they re-release it as World of Warcraft, dude. I hope they re-release it eventually as World of Warcraft. No twos, nothing, and it doesn't have GCDs in it. It's different fundamentally, different mechanics, different UI, different way to interface with the game. Maybe it's in VR, like using, you know, the same, building upon the same lore.
Plus, though, right?
I mean, I don't know. Probably never happened, but it would be sick, dude, if they, instead of scrapping the IP, they maybe took it back a few steps and started to enrich it further. And
I think it's okay to get something new, though. That's what I'm saying. Like at least we have Classic, right? We can play Classic. We can play hopefully in BC and Wrath. I would really be interested to see what they could do with a new IP. You know, whether it's World of fucking StarCraft or World of Diablo, even if it's not an MMO.
Even not StarCraft, but just simply another sci-fi thing or something.
Yeah,
like that.
I would love a sci-fi thing.
Yeah, there's not enough good sci-fi out there.
If I'm gonna invest in a new IP though, sadly, it's probably not gonna be on. It's not gonna be with Blizzard. Just to being honest, it's gonna be with like gonna be like CD Projekt Red or something. Like that was probably the game of late.
Like Cyberpunk stuff. That would be cool.
Cyberpunk, The Witcher. I got into The Witcher 3 way later than most people, and that was just look at the difference, man. Look at the difference between Witcher and WoW. They care. They give a shit. They're trying to make dark high fantasy with really high quality, dialogue or what do they call it? The voiceovers, right? The voice acting is amazing. It's on point. Like, I don't know, man.
Or maybe they could do like some kind of post-apocalyptic kind of thing. Like, I don't know, like you've got like The Last of Us 2, which looks friggin' amazing. Like that kind of a thing could be really cool. You could have a survival type thing and actually do that right.
Like Cataclysm?
Like Cataclysm, yeah.
Yeah. So, shall we kind of round things up?
Absolutely.
I
just want to say, thank you THC for the elements thing. Yeah. So, but yeah, I think overall, guys, I just want, I still have hope in Blizzard. Like I do. I honestly, after all these years, like with everything they've done, I mean, like having Classic come out and what, like the fact that I'm playing fucking Classic WoW right now, that's given me hope in Blizzard. It has. So I'm not ready to give up on them just yet. I'm not. But I just wanted to say, like, overall, I think, this BlizzCon is going to be, hopefully, we're going to have a good time no matter what. And I just hope to see like a breath of, new life. I would really like to see that. So.
Yeah.
The reason we are talking about it is because I think we all care and we want them to succeed, and I think we all need to have a little faith that it might happen. But we will see. That's why it's so interesting to see what will happen at this BlizzCon.
Yeah. And with regard to Classic coming out, like, and the release of Classic and how it's been in this past month and a half, I think it's gone pretty well, dude. It's exceeded my own personal expectations, at least. Layering wasn't as big of a deal as I thought it. I had this like kind of doomsday, this doomsday kind of perception on the layering and sharding and all that. It ended up being okay, less impact than I might have thought, and the way they're rolling out content, and it's been a quality experience, and I'm very appreciative, of my.
That's good to see. They're still actually releasing new servers even now, so it's I don't know. Feels like it's trending like vanilla did, where it just keeps growing and growing. So it wouldn't surprise me if this continues to be what happens.
Well, you got a new member, Dead of Night.
Dead of Night. Thank you so much, man, for the member. Yeah, big supporter.
Raid team, man.
Yeah, big supporter of the channel. Really appreciate it, Dead. Thank you, brother.
All right.
All right, guys. Should we wrap it up?
Yeah. I think we covered a lot today. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I did too.
Always.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for talking, man.
It's a pleasure, man. Shall we do a few shoutouts to end?
Absolutely. Go for it.
Yeah.
So first of all, shout out to my guild and Peppermoon, especially as the main tank. If you're interested, in playing with us, you're welcome. We play on Mokrane, an EU PvP server, and I will put the link in the Discord again. But it's easy to find. It's just thefellowship.eu. Click that if you want to join. We invite socials. We invite a few raid members, but most spots are filled. So have a look.
Guys, make sure to check out ClassicWow.live. We got a lot of stuff. ClassicWow.live. You'll be checking out some really cool stuff soon. Some really cool, awesome new gear tool coming out. Have a lot of new life breathed into ClassicWow.live. So be sure to check out CWL. And also, if you want to check out my brother make videos on Defcamp Melderon TV, and also stream on Twitch.
Absolutely. Also, Taladrill runs the Druid Discord. It's one of the largest Discords. I'm going to be linking that if you play Druid, or are just interested in theory crafting in general, or just, they're a very knowledgeable bunch in there. So definitely consider joining his Discord. It's links in the chat. I'll put it in Twitch as well.
Still a chill Discord with even like 16,000 plus people.
Damn, that's a lot of people, bro.
If you want to learn shit about the game, you go to that Discord. Yep. Like, seriously.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up for here. We'll see you next week. Well, I have one more before BlizzCon. It'll be Be crazy, man. But thanks for your time today, guys. Really appreciate it, and big thanks to you, Talajil, for joining us today, man.
You bet.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, brother. Keep on, keep on and grinding, guys.
Peace out, everybody.